So I'm sitting in my car in my campus parking lot, and I think now is a great time to talk about anxiety. Here we go. So, like I said, I'm literally sitting in my campus parking lot. As you can tell, my lighting is not great. I look kind of crazy because I wanted to talk about anxiety. So this will be my first video in my For When series, and it's for when you feel anxious. And I feel like I have a lot of knowledge on anxiety because I myself have been dealing with anxiety for a few years now. And it's basically, not to get like too sciencey and nerdy on you, but it's like I have a chemical imbalance in my brain that causes me to feel like I am in danger all the time. And sometimes that can lead to me having panic attacks, and those are the worst. Now, these panic attacks can range anywhere from me literally just shutting down all emotions and being completely dead silent and shaking and basically looking like a rattled chihuahua, to full on like irrational anger, tears, hyperventilation, like the full like 9 yards. And sometimes I get all of them together, which those are so much fun. The reason I wanted to start off with anxiety is because literally just the other day, like the day before I started back to school, I had a major panic attack. You know, one of those ones where it's like all of them together. Yeah, I had one of those. It was not fun. And it was because I felt like I was going to totally mess everything up in my semester, because I was trying to download a program that I thought I needed for one of my classes, and it wasn't working. And then there was a whole long laundry list of things that happened elsewhere throughout the day, and I ended up basically, like I said, having a panic attack. And that really sucks, you know? Like, we never want to have panic attacks. We never want to feel that anxiety. But, you know, sometimes it happens. I'm gonna see if I can move a little bit to see if I can not have the sun in my face. Give me just a second. Okay, I kind of adjusted my angle a bit. I'm hoping this works a bit better. Like I said, I had a panic attack. And then I had this thought, because I've been going to see someone about my anxiety for almost 5 years now, which is a really freaking long time. But, you know, it's taken me that long to get the tools that I need to take care of myself. And I've realized since then what my anxiety looks like and what I can do to help myself in those moments where the anxiety just feels so overwhelming that I basically become a shell of a human being with no emotions and no capacity to do anything. The best way to describe kind of what my anxiety is like is that it's kind of like the Hulk, in that there are moments where you just get so anxious that you end up exploding and, for lack of better description, hulking out. And to me, that kind of was a game changer, because, you know, in the first Avengers movie where Bruce Banner reveals, "I'm always angry," that's what it's like to have anxiety. But instead of it being "I'm always angry," it's "I'm always anxious and about to have a panic attack." And, you know, if Bruce Banner can not be the Hulk all the time, that means that us people with anxiety don't have to be anxious all the time. And I think that's really cool, but it's figuring out how to be Bruce Banner more than we are the Hulk. There are now more people parking and arriving, and it's making me feel really awkward, but I'm still gonna continue. So, for those moments when you feel anxious, it can sometimes be really hard to remember that sometimes the problems are smaller than we believe them to be. And, you know, it takes a lot of practice to get those kind of like mindfulness things down. And even then, like, if you have them, you're still not great at them because it's really freaking hard. In those moments when you feel anxious, take a second and write down everything that you're feeling. Or if you're like me and you feel like there's too much to do in so little time, make a list of all the things that you have to do. And start going through it one by one and just start getting it done. That seems really, really simplistic, but that honestly is like one of the best ways to kind of help myself see what I'm feeling and not lash out at people. Even though, yeah, there are definitely still going to be times where you feel that anxiety and you accidentally lash out at someone. Done that before. It's so much fun. Even though there will still be those moments, you still have the ability to make it better, I guess, if that makes sense. If you feel like you're already spiraled, you've already spiraled and there's no way you can get out of it and everything, just write it out, but do something that makes you happy and that can help kind of direct your mind away from the feeling of being an empty shell of a person. Or if you caught it early and you're just in the beginning stages of feeling that anxiety, make a list, write down what you're feeling, and focus in on what you can do to remain Bruce Banner instead of hulking out. You know, I think one of the big things with anxiety is that feeling that you are not in control. And the problem is we are not in control most of the time because we are people. And so there's very little that we have control over. And the moment that you learn how to accept that, that's when your life becomes a whole lot easier. It's understanding that sometimes you aren't in control, and that's okay. Sometimes things are just out of your control. And, you know, it's important that we remember that in those moments where we don't have control to, as Queen Elsa says, let it go. And that takes years to perfect, but the moment you do, the anxiety just eases its hold on you so much. It's the ability to say, this is out of my hands, I need to stop. Can you tell that this video doesn't have a script because I'm going off on so many different tangents and I feel like I'm making no sense. Alright, to officially conclude, anxiety sucks. It really does. Panic attacks suck. But one of the ways you can help yourself deal with that feeling of anxiety is to understand that we don't always have to be in control of everything. Some things are out of our hands, and it sucks. But the moment we accept that, you know what, this really is out of my hands, and we just let it happen, that's when the anxiety gets so much easier to handle. That is all for this video. I'm now going to get out of my car and go sit in the student union for a couple of hours until my class starts. That is how much of a mess my campus is. I hope you enjoyed this video and that can help you in some capacity, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye! By the way, someone just pulled in next to me, so now I'm feeling even more awkward.